being punished. So and people make excuses because they want to protect themselves because of inner instincts, maybe. He doesn't try to analyze. It doesn't matter what's going on, but the first reaction is to protect, is to prove that now you are wrong, I am right, I'm not guilty. So this is the wrong reaction. However, in our society, it's widely spread. So it means that you try to avoid reaction. And I think that the person is more focused on the process, but not on the goal. For example, me, when I'm facing this kind of things, I'm analyzing criticism, and I'm asking myself what I have to change, what I have to do to improve the situation and to get benefit from the criticism. But I think that this reaction is because people are more focused on the process, but not on the goal. So also this is the indicator of. I'm talking about the situation with this accident. When we take responsibility for the things happen, we take responsibility. We are not hiding behind. We do not seek people who put the guilt on them. So this is how we show the mature attitude. But normally, to apologize, trying to apologize, we're just making excuses. We're just trying to say. If you hadn't said, everything would be okay. So this is how trying to apologize, we're just making excuses and trying to put the guilt on other people. But this is not healthy. This is not a healthy attitude. It means that this person refuses to take responsibility not just for the accident, but for his own life. So the second point, the first one is the gratitude, the sorry, the apologizing, and the second is gratitude. Say thank you so much for caring about me. It means that this person who actually criticizes you cares about you, and we, in our turn, we have to understand that this person actually is not actually cares, and we have to honor this person. So we have to cultivate the reaction of gratitude towards this person, and thank God for this person, that this person actually stopped to correct, stop to make a reproach for us to make positive shifts in our lives. So instead, indeed, we were unhappy. We hadn't changes, and our life would be the same. Very often we think that, for example, the director shouldn't be. We shouldn't ask our, for example, director to help us or to make remarks, to make reproaches, but it's the wrong attitude. But if we actually had this reproach, this is a very important. It means that God let the situation happen, but please get benefit, take lessons from it. Only with this approach, we have to have actually this approach in criticism. We shouldn't get angry. We shouldn't get irritated, but we have to take lessons and wisdom from the situation. We should understand that there are no situations which couldn't be resolved, and
Потому что то, как вы ведете себя в мелких вещах, говорит о том, как вы поведете себя в вещах больших. По вашей реакции,
criticism is like a little thing, and if you are tested with this little thing, they show how you can be trusted in big things. So your reaction is like a little thing when you can be tested, and then God can provide you with big things, and if you have high standards reacting with little things, so God will give you good and big things, because He knows that you have the right reaction. We have to remember that for example, real situation, we think they are really simple, they are not important, but God this time He's watching actually. So whatever you do, you have to do this like for God, with all responsibility and with a high level. So the third point is we have to show direction of readiness to work on ourselves, the readiness to analyze ourselves and take every criticism into action. We have to work out the plan. How are we going to do things in order to avoid mistakes, errors? So, dear friends, we finished dwelling on the second chapter, which is called How to Deal with Two Reactions. So the first chapter we talked about the first reaction. In the second chapter we had the type of the wrong reaction. Should we go on? That's one chapter.
So, dear reader, we open the next chapter of this book, and it's dedicated to wrong reaction. So the first reaction is how we react on different corrections, and the next reaction is how do we react on the questions. So in this chapter we would talk about how do you react on questions. So are you just sit and be silent? Usually when now we are gonna practice how do you react on questions. So usually when I ask any questions, people just sit silent and do not react on me. So how do you react when you're questioned, when you're asked something? This is a very important moment, and usually we don't think about it in our everyday life. Remember, how do you usually react when somebody is talking to you? Are we just flying away and think about something else which is not related to the person who's talking to us? Or do you really think about something which is related to yourself and not about the person who is in front of us? There are some people who are silent all the time, but when person doesn't react on the person who's sitting next to this person, it means that this person is just proves that person doesn't want to talk and is ignoring. So, dear reader, who do you think I'm gonna see, and which person do you think I'm gonna invite to some project? The person who is raising his or her hand, or the person who is always silent and never reacts to my questions. Those people who prefer to sit silent and never show any actions, these people, they just want to sit and be in the comfort zone. And they never want to leave this comfort zone. And what this tells me, that these people do not honor me as a pastor. So they do not react as a people of honor. Those people just do not have anything holy in themselves. You may be surprised. Why do I say this? I can say this, but from their reactions. So the reaction of those people who ignore me, who do not answer my questions. So I asked them, why didn't you answer my questions? Some may say, I've been scared. So you have to fight your fear if you want to be a person of honor. Some other people would say, I didn't know what to answer. So this means that you are empty inside, but it also means that you are not a person of honor. If I want to honor my leader and my pastor, my director, I will do my best. Then if I'm empty inside, if I'm not a person of quality, then I need to read. Some other people will say, nobody didn't tell me how to react. Well, you need to study a lot in your life. There are different situations when you didn't know how to react, but you need to study and need to know. And if you do not know how to react when you're asked, then it's still the same. You have empty head. You're empty inside. You should work on yourself, and you should work on your reactions. Another answer from people who are silent, they may say, I do not want to be like proactive. I do not want to jump up. Those people say that they are very shy, but this is not really shyness. There is time and there is place when you should be shy, but there is also place and time where you should be proactive. If you're not gonna react correctly, you're gonna be at the very bottom and you will never get any success in your life. So such person doesn't really want to know what God think about this person. They also only want to know what other people think about this person. What if these people think, what if I look fool, what if I look dull? This person just think what the society want to think about them.
This is why in our society people are perceived with anger, because this is why people don't want to be enthusiastic, because they are afraid of being misunderstood. And this is the sign of unfreedom. So it means that these people like a biomass. It means that they are like gray mass. These people are trapped in the prison of public opinion. So for these people, it's quite difficult to promote, to have the promotion, to have a successful career. Because for a free people, for a free person, it's important God's opinion and his own one. And if a person never leaves without having answers, he strives for having questions and having answers. But the representative of a biomass, he keeps calm, doesn't make noise, doesn't ask anything. So no, it's cool. It's widely spread. At school, our kids just are learned to just stay calm and not saying anything. So this is not a healthy person. But a healthy person wants to have answers. He can't just abide in suggestions, suppositions, so on and so forth. He just wants to have answers. He's enthusiastic about having the truth. So, and this is why he finds peace, because he gets answers. So we have to have the right reaction. We should get rid of this mentality to stay without answers. We should seek for answers. And if we are criticized, so we have to ask why. So if we do not ask, we plunge into the darkness. So this is why if we have questions but we do not get answers, we are like in the dark. Ask. And if we have no light, which is knowledge, which is wisdom, information, so we abide in the darkness. So it's very important to communicate with the person face to face, to clarify things, to get to the straight point. It's very important to understand why you are criticized. So, and this is actually the light is. So the person who's free, who's healthy, wants to clarify everything, wants to have the light in his life. So, and the first way is to ask, to make questions. But the person with the wrong direction doesn't strive for having answers. For him, it's like a horror, a torture, asking. But this is an unhealthy person. So it's like the Embassy of God Church in Ukraine. Somebody sees only the darkness. Only somebody sees the darkness. Why you go there? They ask. Why are you going there? Because for people who want to see the light, they see the light. But even seeing good, they don't see good. They see bad things. So, for example, the government can't recognize the good result that the Embassy of God Church has. We helped so many drug addicted people, 10,000 officially recognized, and the government does not see it. So, in other words, we will always have the light, and we have to make efforts to get the answers we want. But if we don't want to do this, if we make excuses for not having the answers, so we abide in the darkness. So this is how we just stay without answers, and we abide in the darkness. Okay, so without answers, we have fantasy, we have anger, we have we have insult, and other bad things. So, dear reader, I want you to proceed with me and analyze and what are the origin of revolt. So, first of all, it's the lack of questions, and then add some suppositions, added some suggestions and fantasy, and then make a conclusion according to suggestions, according to own experience, but without the truth. So this is the way to get into trouble, actually. So the question, if you what to do in this situation, if you don't know how to fix, how to cope with the situation, just go and ask. Don't miss the opportunity to have the light. Don't abide in the darkness. Just ask, because indeed the person will have bad results, actually, won't have achievements. Well, so this is what Isaiah says, that if you do not accept my reproaches, so I will ignore you. If you do not accept the light, I will ignore you. So an unhealthy person is not interested in the light. He likes gossips, suggestions, and according to that he makes conclusions. So this is kind of choice that the person makes, chose in the dark. This is his own choice. This is his unwill not to ask questions and not to get answers. This is his will, his desire, just to abide in the darkness. So at the end of the day, this person will realize that he didn't live, he didn't love, and he didn't matter. So, because questions are supposed to be the tool for create, for change, to make contributions, to make positive things. But without questions, the person, people abide in the darkness. So this is why people stay in the darkness. People stay with the pain, just without asking, without making questions. People just abide in the darkness. People carry the problems with themselves, haven't questioned, but are afraid of discussing these questions. So this is how they remain with pain, with hurt, and they don't want to discuss, and they don't want to have the light actually in their lives. So if we don't have questions, what does it mean? It means that he is not willing, he is not thirsty, he's not hungry. Because if you are not thirsty, you don't want to drink, you don't want to eat, so you won't actually have it. So without this, all our good expectation won't be met. So the second point, if the person doesn't ask, actually he doesn't have the goal. So this person doesn't live for the goal. It means that if you have the goal, it means that you have to seek for information to achieve this goal. But without having questions, it means that you don't have the goal. You have dreams, but you don't take actions. You don't have the goal, which is concrete, which has dates and details and volumes, but it's a dream, but it's not a goal. Well, the person who doesn't ask questions is not pushed inside to outside, but the person who has goals thinks about this. And actually, this person is focused on it. So the third point is if the person doesn't ask questions, this person doesn't see differences. For example, you have the meeting with Donald Trump or somebody who is a millionaire, and you just keep calm, you just stay calm, but you don't ask anything. So, but instead you should have asked how to succeed, actually, how to be a millionaire, because this information could have enriched you, but you didn't ask, so you lost this opportunity. So, for example, you took maybe some notes, but you had actually the opportunity to ask, and you didn't. So it means that this was the wrong direction. But I'm sure you had the questions. I'm sure you were thirsty for having the answer. In this case, if you had asked the question, you would have received the wisdom, not just the information, but the answer who aims at your goal, actually. And it would benefit, it would bring benefits into your life. И потому они будут задавать спикеру такие вопросы, которые позволят помочь им в реальность осуществления условий. Но люди, которые не привыкли быть жаждущими, стремиться к цели, вообще не будут знать, что говорить. Every country has its differences. So if we and possibilities to succeed are different, so we should ask successful people how to do this in this country. So this is the way of avoiding opportunities, possibilities, because if you can't form actually the question, you won't be successful. So the key problem of losing all the opportunities is not being capable to form the question and ask the question. But our attitude is just stay calm, and that's all. But this is not mature. But the mature attitude is, I'm here to become like you. But we are different. This is our problem. If you understand this, you will have the right direction. Imagine the situation that you are in the hall, and the speakers are Bill Gates, the mayor of your city, and just somebody from your neighborhood. So, and if you don't ask any questions, you just put these people down at the level of this person from your neighborhood. Because if you don't ask, you don't see difference between these three people, between Bill Gates, between the mayor of your city, and between your neighbor, because you don't ask. Do you want to know my verdict for a person who doesn't ask? not to Bill Gates, not to a mayor, not even to a neighbor. He is dead, like because he didn't understand anything in the life. So you see, somebody actually these things, they are so small, they are so little, but they are decisive actually in our lives. Because these little things, they actually they determine everything in our lives. How do you react? When we do not ask questions, it's very easy actually to bury these people, because he didn't understand anything in their life. He didn't understand who is who, because the capacity to see who is in front of me, it's also like a sign that I could be the same, and that I could have the same position. But if we don't ask, if we don't want to clarify for ourselves how he managed to do this, what's good? So this reaction is not reasonable. It means that this person is shallow, is superficial. The person who doesn't recognize the great person and doesn't ask questions is narrow, is shallow, and has no goals in his life. But if you see the person in front of you who's great, who is maybe older, who did what you didn't, who had the level you haven't, you hasn't, so you should take the chance. You should benefit from this chance, and you should have the right reaction. You should be hungry and thirsty. Just ask something. Just ask something. This is why we learn to strive. For example, I very often I have questions. What is your favorite color? And pastor answers, how can it benefit to you? How can it make contribution into your life? What can it give to you? This is why we learn to strive to follow somebody.
Именно поэтому мы учимся, стремимся следовать за кем-то, подражаем кому-то только для того, чтобы достичь уровня этого человека.
This is why we learn how to strive to follow somebody. This is why we want to have the level of somebody's, of the great person's level. This is why we have to learn to ask, because asking questions, actually, this is the right reaction. And we can judge about the intelligence of the person according to his questions, but not his answers. I just want to comment. Once I saw the interview, and the journalist had actually took the interview, and there were the interview with the great person, Ferrari, if I'm not mistaken. So, and this journalist was not so qualified and professional, and he couldn't ask. So in front of him was a great person, and he couldn't ask. So the journalist was so shallow that and the journalist couldn't ask the right questions. For example, how did he overcome obstacles? How did he overcome all the ordeals in his life to become so great? And the journalist just asked about the car, about the plan. So very soon I'm going to read the book about questions. Very soon. And the title is Why the Question is More Important Than Food, Work, why the question is more important than family, wife, and health. Wow. Are you going to buy this book? So it's easy to judge about the intelligence of the person according to the to his answers, but to his questions, not the answers. Because wise people always ask questions.
Я всегда ободряю присутствующих задавать вопросы. Я считаю, что куда бы вы ни пришли, самую
So
ценную вам
I
информацию
face all the time the situation when people don't ask questions. They hear the information, but they don't ask. So it means that whoever the speaker is, even if he is great, even if he is successful, it doesn't matter for you because you don't ask. It means that you humiliate him, and so you see in our society, people don't ask. This is like a culture. We have no culture of asking, so we have to cultivate it. No, people are not just shy. It's just, the mentality of being punished because you asked, the fear of asking, because and its origin is in the mentality of being punished because you asked. For example, when I visit doctors, and doctors say, you have to buy this medicine, and I ask, why should I do this? And doctor's reaction is, why are you asking? I'm the doctor, I'm professional, so you have to go to the shop and buy it. But they are not used to receiving question actually from patients. So, and after examining actually the medicines they subscribe to me, I see that all this is like the stuff, medicine stuff is so unuseful for me. So that's why we have to ask all the time. When people say something to you, ask why you are saying it. What is your motivation? Why you said it? I think that we are poor in our mind. Poverty of our intelligence, of our mind, is because we don't ask questions. So we have to ask why. What are the consequences? What are the results? We don't ask ourselves. We do not respect ourselves. It means that we do not respect actually ourselves, our life. Or, for example, when you communicate with people and they criticize other people and you don't ask, so you let these people like gossip. So you have suggestions, you have suppositions, you have just like half truth, which is not a truth, which is a lie. So asking questions is great. Jesus asked, actually. I just want to say that a few words. I want to support, I want to maintain that poverty of our mind means that we really can't ask questions. For example, my son is used to doing his homework, and for example, home assignment dealing with literature, he had like he has some text to read, and he's used to answering on the questions after the chapter, and but then I try to ask him, and then I see that he can't answer. He's used to answering some kind of questions. but other he's not used to. So, and this shows how our system is a little bit run. So, and the school doesn't cultivate the right attitude towards scholarship process. And for example, the child shouldn't be afraid of being asked.
И вот я так своего ребенка учу, но вместе с тем замечаю, что это и моя проблема, просто немножко в другом масштабе. А есть еще такой момент.
So that's why when we are doing actually the homework assignment together, I ask additional questions to my son. And also, people don't ask questions because they feel shy, they feel modest, they feel awkward when they ask. Once I had a visit to the doctor, and I asked, why are you subscribing this remedy for me? And the doctor says, why are you asking? And she said, I'm not going to buy it. And the doctor said, hey, I've graduated from the university, and you are not the right person to ask me those questions. So, and she said, no, I'm not going to buy this medicine. So I understood that some questions are really awkward. So, and this is why maybe they shouldn't be asked. So because of being awkward, people are afraid of, in general, of asking. So this situation, this problem of asking because you are afraid of being awkward. Yeah, I think yes, you are right. Sometimes when we get an awkward question, we ignore them. But what